Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 and the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. I am joined here with Peter the Insider, and we're just going to continue having a discussion and more updates on Shaw House and whatever else comes in after that. But we have a really good show, so hang in there with us and we will get started right now. Hello Peter, how are you?
So I want to say hello Jessica, to you and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. Yes, we as a organization ACIO and as a unit 374, Kruger and Suso, we've got some great news, but you make a promise before the show that you want to start with something, so let's go ahead.
What I wanted to start with is that I've been having some really strange things happen, and I think I'm starting to figure out why I've been having some of the problems that I've been having. I ended up catching one of the Shaw House's family members across the street from me by the name of, you know her as Helen Mirren, but it's the entity in Helen Mirren. And I saw her up in a portal by a tree that's across the street from me, and I talked to my neighbor, and she told me that when she first moved in, that there was a tree there that was a beautiful tree. They said it was almost like too perfectly symmetrical, like so perfect that, you know, it could have been a Christmas tree, like. And she said out of nowhere, I don't know if it was a storm or something, the thing just literally split in half, like unnaturally. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So, and then seeing her there, I knew she was doing something, and then she was accessing my home. And then, of course, I was having paranormal. I was getting had some issues with critters. You know what I mean? Like I had to close up everything. It was like this big, you know, 2 different companies coming in and helping me. And then I had, because I am in the woods, but still, this was abnormal. This was definitely abnormal. There's absolutely no food around here. So there was like the food's locked up. Everything's careful, you know, super clean in that area. And then there was my pipe broke out of nowhere. And for 6 years, I've traveled during the winter time, and it's the first year, like it broke out of nowhere. And then after it broke, my dear friend who was watching my home ended up having a very hard stroke. And I said, this is abnormal. I knew that something was going on. And I you know, if any of you want to send some prayers for my friend, because she's a very sweet, kind individual and was very, very helpful for me when I was going off to do missions or to do things overseas. And when I saw that this happened, I knew that there was a problem. So what are your thoughts on this, Peter?
Let's say it was warning. It was like, why in the world you are here and you are bothering and making our life more difficult, you know, because they are elites and they believe that no one can dare to do anything bad to them. And once somebody dare to do so, they are pretty much thrown out of their concept. What do you think? Isn't it like that?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely declared a war on us. I mean, because I have opened the platform to be able to expose some of the things that they're doing, and quite a few of my clients are talking about seeing these really like weird Harry Potter like dementors. I think they call them dementors, and a lot of people are seeing them, and they're like they're flying around the house. They're like seeing the people that have like psychic ability, and none of them are talking to each other. It's completely unrelated. So they're just coming to me and saying, "I'm seeing these things, and they look like they have." It's like a witch moving around,
Yeah.
And so I think they've unleashed some things over here. And the reason why I'll bring that up because it goes into some other things regarding, I think we mentioned the Harry Potter stuff, but I'm going to show you because I believe they're in some levels of high magic. So let me go to share the screen, and I know this sounds really crazy for some people, but those that have been around us for a while, you know what we're talking about. So the Hobbs and Shaw, there's Helen Mirren. She calls herself Queenie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But give me a second. This is not if we are happy or they are happy. I mean, in the day in show house, or I don't know, our people, or if somebody will believe this or not, because it is once again soft disclosure. And that's the problem. They are disclosing things on one hand, but on the other hand, they are doing it that way that I don't want to say nobody, but almost nobody will believe that. Let's say it that way. Okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, these shows are revealing some of the activity that they have been doing. And I know it's hard, but they get the story from somewhere, don't they? It's almost like even James Bond, right? People say, well, that's just made up. No, they did a lot of
Give me a
activity.
second. It doesn't make any sense. Why?
I mean, they talk about places like Chernobyl and,
But give me a second. I mean,
they go
I
to
don't
there.
understand. I don't understand why so many people say it is made up. I mean, I don't know, for example, James Bond stuff. Because look, so many even it is like, yeah, it's like comedy, spicy-ish humor type comedy, but it's from military and spy, surroundings and all kind of that stuff. A-Team Last Mission, and it was literally okay from it is movie from 2010, and it is literally what we went through. I mean, our special unit. No, I am not talking neither about 374 or Kruger, Gruber, and so forth. No, but I'm just saying. And it is made, or it was made, those movies were filmed and so forth, because it is like, nah, it's just a movie. It's so unreal. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And this is the same stuff. And
Right.
if you give me a second, they are talking about, yeah, Chernobyl. Yeah, I don't want to say specifically in Chernobyl, but there are many places of strategic, let's say, interests. They looked exactly like Chernobyl, I mean, nuclear power plant and so on and so on. It's a huge complex, and they were identical all over the place. I'm talking not only in nowadays Ukraine, but all kind of, do you know what I mean, post-Soviet countries, and this is it. Why in the world nobody believed that?
Is this playing out in this context of existence or somewhere else or both?
That's the problem. It's a bleed truth from another context of existence, yeah.
Right.
And just by the way,
Being
had a show, aka Hetty. I mean, why I
Hattie,
hate to
yeah, Hetty.
Hetty, yeah, I hate to hear this word. Fact is that she used the what it is, the sentence "I am the virus." Try to guess what? Because the virus. Look.
Cybernetically enhanced terrorist who's threatening the world with a deadly virus. Yep, that's part of the storyline.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And try to guess. Look, the time, the year when it came out. Do you know which kind of virus we are talking about?
That's 2019.
Yeah, but do you know which kind of virus?
Yeah, of course.
COVID. No?
Yeah.
This is it. And nobody can just make certain basic connections. It's, oh my God. It looks like they don't want to understand. What do you think, huh?
Yeah. They have plenty of information, and we've talked about this. She's been known for years as an actress, so obviously something took her over. And then they're saying
that's my question.
What's her real name? Mironov, huh?
Yeah. And I want to ask you, what do you think about those something took her over? They are astral parasites, or because I am absolutely not expert in this field, okay?
She looks pretty good for her age. I'm not really sure exactly how old she is. I think I could look it up, but maybe 1945,
yeah,
right?
1945, yeah.
So I thought her name was Marin. I thought she was English, but I guess that she was born. I guess her father is Russian.
Yep.
So I didn't know that.
But I'm just saying, it's absolutely crazy. Like, who is this? Or I just want to ask you, what does it mean? I mean, are those entities? Okay, first things first, okay? What invites those entities? You should be, quotes in quotes, weak individual, or you pretty much are desperate individual. I just want to ask you because I don't understand the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
you are found in this field, so you need to say me.
I just found something else, Peter. See this jacket she's wearing?
Yep.
I wore a jacket like that in the airport, and that's where they tagged me. They pulled me in for another search and then accused me. It said something, they were looking for white powder. So here again, now I'm seeing the connection. She wore this jacket. Was she making it look like she was me? Or setting me up?
Oh my. Oh my.
I never saw that before. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much because for them, we are pain in the ass. If you like it or not, it's true. We are pain in the ass for them because, they are elites and nobody, and believe me, nobody dares to make their life miserable.
I mean, I know that I don't, I'm just traveling, minding my own business. This is the first time this ever happened to me because I've never done anything like that. I've never would do anything. That's the most stupid thing possible. But the fact that she would set me up like that and then created all these problems over it in my home, just adds to everything, you know.
Yeah,
I
Magdalene show, but calls Queenie. Jeez.
I know. And Magdalene, I remember talking to Dolores Cannon, and we
Uh-huh.
were sitting there having a dinner. You know who Dolores Cannon is, right? She's the one that does all the she's really well known for this process of past life regressions.
Yeah, I know. I
Called
know.
UHHT, right? So she was there, her daughter was there, there was another guy there, some other people. And we were just sitting there having a meal, and she looked at me and she goes, "Why do you suppose everyone wants to be Mary Magdalene?" And people constantly bother her saying that they're Mary Magdalene and they want her to prove it through a regression. And now I'm starting to rethink this whole thing. Like, was that Helen Mirren trying to direct a question at me? You know, trying to get my attention.
Now it makes sense, and I mean like big sense.
I mean that happened probably around 2011, 2010. Yeah, long time ago. Before I even met you, Peter.
Yeah. We met each other 2016. 2016, yeah. Something like that.
All right, so I started looking at her bio, and her spouse is Taylor.
But I want to ask you, what is quotes in quotes invitation, or what can be invitation for parasites? Because some people, I know that some people literally, made a deal. I know that for sure. But what can be like, nah, I don't want to do any kind of this crap, but astral parasites. So do you have any solid idea?
She must have been put in programs, I imagine, at a young age, but I'm looking at her name, almost reminds me of Murkoff. Murkoff.
Give me a second. Technically, yeah, this guy was pretty much cousin of Murkoff, just by the way.
So that she's got the cousin of Murkoff in her?
Yeah, because pretty much, her father was cousin of Murkoff, just by the way.
That ties in Shaw House with Murkoff.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And that explains why she was hanging around MySpace. And then
is it good or bad? I mean, at least, I mean, not, it is good to have, do you know what I'm trying to say? It is not good, but I'm just saying, is it any better that we are having some sort of basic lead? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's finally I think I'm going to put some pieces together here, and we're going to take a look at the website so people can see the ACIO, Worldwide Corporations. All right, so we have...
But it is so crazy that all of them are tied together.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
It's unbelievable how they're all starting to come together now that we're kind of breaking into it, right?
Yeah,
what is the name of the video game that we talk about? Project Walrider and
Outlast.
She's connected, and so she might be the reason why.
But look at that. Look at that. It is so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, this This is insane. This is insane. All right, so I never even thought that she would be put together with Walrider and Murkoff.
Give me a second. Why in the world I am not surprised? To be perfectly honest with you, why I am not surprised? Because it makes perfect sense. Look, they are high-class leads. And that's my question. Who in the world is saying, those are elites? What? It doesn't make any sense. You can be elite, I can be elite, whoever. Do you know what that means? It doesn't make any sense.
So her husband then being named Taylor, like Taylor Swift, right?
Oh
but also,
God.
Look at the way he looks, and then we'll do a comparison. I'm like, he almost looks like that boyfriend of Taylor Swift's, Travis Kelce. I like an much older version, and look at the beard and everything. So I'm
yeah, I know.
You know,
no.
I mean, everything is so intermingled.
Oh my God!
You know?
No! Please, hell no! Cats! It was just a stupid joke. It was just a stupid.
We'll get into the cats in a minute. Hold on. All right, so see that, and then she has a stepson named Rio. So did they name Rio Tinto or Rainstorm Company after?
Yeah, both. That's the problem. That's the problem. Both.
Look at this. The Montana megaliths captivate. We're going to have this link here so people can follow it or watch it. Captivating collection of towering dolmens, intricate polygonal block granite walls, awe-inspiring pyramid complexes, enigmatic stacked circular terraces, and have remained hidden in the pristine wilderness of Montana, USA until now. Megalithic building structures extend over miles of high mountains and rolling hills. This is untouched land in the wild lands of Montana in the USA. And we have discovered over 111 intentionally constructed megalithic sites and 47 dolmens. But what they found was that they hired Rio Tinto to come over and start tampering with it because they showed it. So they're magnetic. These walls are naturally magnetic, these structures. Hold on a second.
A particular one that they've worked in is Australia.
A line that looks like this is an intentional.
So they talk about Rio Tinto in the beginning, right? We talked about Rio Tinto.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot, and I mean a lot. Yeah.
So that's Rainstorm Company, and that here again.
No, Rainstorm Company not. We are talking Rainstorm Company. It's direct successor of Umbrella. We are talking about Typhon. Typhon is pretty much another aspect of Rio Tinto.
Typhon. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, and it's jumping in. This is the alternate. It's also, I was looking at Typhon recently because I saw the entity Typhon, and people know who that is. Typhon Group AG is a German-based corporation. It originates from an alternate reality where the NAZIs in the Axis power won World War II and then went to operate on a positive timeline. This alternate axis dominant timeline was initially alluded to here in a previous article, and the Typhon Group is most well known for deploying technology and operations geared towards controlling and manipulating weather and climate. The corporation was first soft disclosed in the video game Life is Strange: True Colors, where Typhon was portrayed as a mining company based in Colorado that acted as an antagonistic group within the story.
Yeah.
So they're good or bad because it sounds like they're from the positive, the NAZIs from the positive timeline, but then they get into some stuff. So it's almost like they're right on the edge between the positive and negative.
Yeah, you are goddamn right.
So whatever they're interested in. So here is Typhon. Now Typhon, let's see if I can get a picture of him. He looks like this. He's got legs like a snake. He's like a hybrid kind of creature.
Okay.
That's Typhon. And there's different stories about him. Of course, he's powerful because he's like a, not only a hybrid, but kind of came from like the gods. And this is a female version of Typhon.
Oh my.
Or it's another like a partner maybe of Typhon, but it's not directly Typhon is a male, but who knows? I mean, the way that they do things are pretty fluid, that's where we get a lot of that stuff.
That's the aspect where we are having a lot of mess, just by the way.
And someone sent me that article about Rio Tinto, and I want to say thank you for sending that. I don't always say the name just in case people are, in a situation, but here's Rio Tinto. And what they're doing is they're tampering with ancient sites. They said in that article that they actually went to Australia and were messing around with ancient monoliths. Now, why are they doing that, Peter?
Because they want to get power and wisdom and knowledge. Know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're looking for the certain kinds of minerals that maybe even came from asteroids.
You nailed it.
Are they based in Australia?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, British Australia multinational. Founded in 1873. I think we looked at this before, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And also Spain is involved. And of course, then it's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So yeah, it brings in everything. CEO Jean-Sébastien Jacques. So getting back to Helen Mirren and the big setup here. So you have Hetty, and then all of a sudden I can see Helen. I couldn't see Helen before.
Why?
Now I could see her. I don't know. She was able to really create a shield that I couldn't see her, and now I see her. So she already did the damage.
Give me a second. Which kind of shield are you talking about? I don't quite understand. I mean, I know what is shield. Obviously, I know that. But I don't understand what you are talking about because it's kind of weird.
They create like a veil so you don't see them.
Okay.
So they know that certain people can see them, so they know how to shield or hide it. But
so pretty much like, I know that you can see me. You will not. And now I understand. Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I am just like, all right, so now we're putting the pieces together. So Murkoff was the corporation that targeted me as a young child, and still they won't let go, right? And they sent her after me, Helen.
Yeah, because you have what at least what they believe it belongs to them. You have aspect of War Rider Corps.
Yeah, but I didn't try to get that, did I?
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. That's the problem. They don't care. It's like, it's ours. You know what I mean?
But then someone set me up and put me in this Wall Rider Corps. And who did that?
They.
So they set me up and then acted like I was the one that so they wanted to use me in the Corps.
Yeah,
That's
and now they are pretty much like, hey, this is our property. Why in the world you stole our stuff? Yeah. And do you know what is crazy? That now they are getting those cases to FBI, just by the way.
So what does that mean?
That they are getting after the people.
So they're having like the FBI or those type of people watch people like myself that they literally put into the My Lab. So they're
It doesn't make any. Give me a second. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it is like that. It is insane, Jessica. How in the world it is? How can I say it? It is like a setup. It is like, okay, we put you into My Lab process, all kind of those things in the first place, and in the second place, either once the project, the experiment, and so on is no longer needed, or if was just in hiatus status and hiatus status and so on, they're like, okay, and then once, give me a second, once they restart the whole process, they're like, hey, they stole our stuff, and it was vice versa. This doesn't make any sense, Jessica.
Yeah, it's a decoy, right? So that no one's ever looking at them, and they make it look like everybody else is doing the things that they're doing. But that deception's coming off. I will make sure that deception is removed, not just for myself, but other people as well. Because you're not telling me anything that I didn't already know. I knew when I saw that jacket that she was having me pose as her, and then she went in one direction, was probably carrying all sorts of stuff in illegal things, and then had it redirect to me. I bet she was traveling the same time I was.
Give me a second, for real?
Yep. I think that's what happened, because they looked at me like they were confident they were going to catch me with something, and I'm like, I have no idea what people are talking about.
Powder, with quotes in quotes, powder.
Yeah. I've never done I have absolutely no history of any kind of illegal substance in my life. Never been arrested, none of that. So I knew this was a setup.
Give me a second. So they were that kind of 100% sure. She has it, and I was like,
oh
what?
yeah, they were pretty sure, and I was like, they said, take this apart, take that apart. Let me look in there. I said, go ahead. I don't have anything.
What?
And I always said I'm naturally high. I never needed anything. I've been seeing visions since I was a young kid, and anything else, even like marijuana, just like messed me up.
And give me a second. I tell you something. But for so many people, if you have visions, that means open mind and all kind of that stuff. Nah, she's just high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. A person like that, they don't understand, so because people have to do drugs to open up like that.
And so many people will call you a witch. Once when you told this to me, I was like, yeah, give me a second, for real.
Yeah.
And you said for real.
Well, they don't understand. If you have abilities, they don't know where to categorize it, because they have made it difficult for people that have any type of intuition. So, but it's getting better. I think more people are more open to it and understanding. But I wanted to point out something else to you, Peter. Look at this.
Okay.
So her mother, Kathleen Kitty, everyone has a little nickname. There's the cats, right? Kitty.
Yeah, you are right.
Alexandrina, Eva Matilda.
Yeah.
Also went by the name of Rogers, was working class woman with West Ham, the 13th of 14 children born to a butcher.
Oh no.
His father was the butcher to Queen Victoria. So we're talking about a high-end.
No. And I will tell you why. The butcher. Because the escape of Butcher Bay. It is the series of movies, and series of video games, and many people in UK will be like, nah, I don't want to hear anything from Peter the Insider anymore, because they made the crimes, okay? Sorry.
What's it called?
The royal family in UK escaped from Butcher Bay. Yeah.
Chronicles of Riddick?
Riddick, yeah. And I was like, I will tell you something, okay? They were committed of many, and I mean many, okay, crimes. The royal family in UK, and they've been imprisoned in Butcher Bay. Nobody believed that.
That's Queen Victoria, that we're talking 1800s.
Yeah. Yeah. And
wow.
That is, give me a second, I will tell you something. That is the reason why she was so long on the throne, because she was herself for only very first few years, and then she was replaced because the whole family was infiltrated by astral entities, and that was it. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I mean, why you are so surprised? I don't know.
Look at all of these little links to different things. It's crazy.
And it is, just by the way, Butcher Bay, it's huge prison on Jupiter.
Oh, okay. That's where it is.
Jupiter Ascending, the movie, another movie. I don't know if it was the game, but I'm sure it is, or it was movie. I'm just saying. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Everything perfectly closed. It is closely tied together. You know. I don't know why so many people, they don't want to see things.
That's crazy.
I mean, give me a second. You never heard about Butcher Bay? I mean, because it was
I didn't know
huge colony. It was huge colony. I mean, Earth, of course, a human colony on Jupiter. Fine. But then crime rates starts to raise like crazy. You know. And then they pretty much turned the whole city into prison colony. It is pretty much like Wolfsburg in Germany. There was no city at all in Germany, and they built the whole city just because of a car factory. Do you know what I mean? And this was, but opposite way. It was the colony, everything fine and all kind of that stuff. But then people with bad intentions started to get in and in and in, and I will tell you why. Because they introduced highly advanced AI, artificial intelligence there. And it was that kind of level of automatization that people start to get bored. Because look, even if you have smartphone or tablet or laptop and, I don't know, desktop, you have something to do. But they were that bored that they start to do bad things, because they have such perfect life, and there were crazy high crime rates. So they built huge prison. I was there. I mean, it still is, but I mean, for me, it was crazy, because this prison is crazy big. I'm like, what the heck is that? You can walk. I mean, I don't want to say walk. They are having cars, they are having trains. It is that big, the prison. But then they make it that large that not only uh, people from, I don't want to say people, but another ET species from our solar system, but from Alpha and Proxima Centauri and all kind of, solar systems, they concentrate the worst of the worst, criminals
In Alpha Centauri?
In Butcher Bay, yeah.
Butcher Bay, yeah. And see this right here, Peter? It looks like a planet and then a small planet. Is that like Callisto Protocol, where you have the moons?
Exactly. It was. Give me a second. It is direct link to the Callisto Protocol. Hey, Jessica, why in the world so many people don't understand that?
We've been talking about it for a while, but now we're putting together the pieces. So this is all about this prison in Jupiter.
Just by the way, the same prison. Just by the way,
it's all the same prison, but they call it the black. What do they call it? The black
iron? I don't know if it is
iron prison. Yeah,
prison.
So,
yeah, my bad.
So that's Black Iron Prison is also Butcher Bay.
Yeah. It is
wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
When did this start happening? Is it 1800s or before?
If we are talking about those kind of aspects, because it is Callisto, do you know what I mean? So it is one of the moons, but pretty much all of those, facilities are part of the huge complex. I mean, sorry, the Butcher Bay. A Butcher Bay as a prison is approximately that old as according belief system of Christianity when Jesus was born. It is the easiest way how you can remember that.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Thousands of years.
It was a memento. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, guys, don't do crazy stuff. And just by the way, it started to break through. It was like 33 years, and everything went down. Everything went to crap. And once, Jesus was crucified and all kind of those things, and you can know, what is written in New Testament and all kind of that stuff, and it was like, okay, it is like he was crucified, Jesus was crucified, and all kind of those signs on the skies and all kind of that stuff, earthquakes. It was some sort of aspect of what happened on Jupiter, just by the way. Yeah.
And what happened on Jupiter? What had happened on Jupiter at the same time?
The aspect that pretty much God, if we are talking about Christian belief system,
of Jesus was a person, right? Or we'll say hybrid person, right? Because he's a star seed of some sort, or he was.
Yeah, but this is the stuff, okay? Like God was very, very, let's say, upset what was going on on Jupiter, because we've got very highly advanced civilization on Jupiter, we as people, and it was like, nah, my son is not worth to be born in Jupiter. And there were so many other, how can I say it, signs and all kind of that stuff. They are not written in let's call it modern version of the Bible. They were literally like some sort of mirror, or let's say window to the Jupiter, you know, like what, how can I say it, like revelation of John, you know.
Yeah.
All of the, how can I call it properly, all of the pictures and all kind of that stuff, like Judgment Day and everything. No. It was written, okay, this will be Judgment Day on Earth, but they already had Judgment Day on Jupiter, just by the way. You know what I mean?
So did you saying like the prisoners rebelled, or they broke free from the prison, or
let's say they rebelled, they broke free. I don't want to say all of them, but many, and it ended up like a disaster.
all right, so this is kind of like a lot of people hear about this and they may think that this has something to do with the Anunnaki and the rebellion of the slaves. Is that the same or is it different?
Very similar, very similar.
But not the exact same.
No, I don't want to say exact, but very similar. Because
similar situation.
Yes, because it is like, look how you will end up once you will not follow the God's will. And it wasn't just some sort of quotes in quotes made up scenario. No, hell no. It was scenario what already played out on Jupiter. Try to think. Give me a second. Try to think why in the world they are having gas atmosphere. They don't have standard, I mean, like solid, do you know what I mean, ground, I mean soil and all kind of that stuff. I will tell you, they are having it, okay? They are having soil, they are having solid ground, but astronomists, they don't want to talk about it. And I will tell you why. Because the whole Jupiter went to crazy creepy situation. And all of them, the astronomists are like, no, this is not the good way to talk about the whole situation to the public. You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, they say here, Sorry, Peter. They say Jupiter is far, far away from the Goldilocks zone, which is possibly the life-sustaining temperature such that is neither too hot nor too cold. Being so far from the sun, there would be less energy available for life to exist. And that's what they say. That's not happening.
Give me a second. And this is the, let's call it official version. Official version, okay?
Saying that they need oxygen on Europa, saying that they're oxygen starved, pressures and materials are likely too extreme and volatile organisms to adapt to. This is all we know now. So I mean, they're not going to tell us exactly what's going on, but they're saying.
Give me a second. I want to ask you, okay? I want to ask you, how many times would we know, okay? We know for sure. How many times scientists want to or will to say us the truth? Because the truth is a way too complicated to comprehend. I'm just saying, sorry.
They don't want to divulge the information that they know. This is all about Europa and everything. But they're not, if there is a civilization there, they're not allowed to talk about it. We know that. But too many people remember it. A lot of people remember being on Jupiter. So how can you explain that?
Give me a second. What do you mean by too many people? I don't quite understand.
People remember being imprisoned on Jupiter. They remember being in these prisons.
Give me a second, because they exist. I mean, first things first. I said like Butcher Bay, okay? Like it is one prison. No. It is like complex of multiple huge prison, let's say, complexes. It is like, for example, you will have airport, for example, in US, and it will be always, I don't know, like JFK airport, and it will be a JFK airport in, I don't know, for example, in New York City, and then in Boston, and then, do you know what I'm trying to say? Something like that. You know what I'm.
Yep.
And this is it. They are having. I am frustrated just from this situation. Now,
yeah. They bring up this Kardashev scale.
Yeah.
Artificial sun. And we've talked about these Dyson spheres.
Yeah, we talked about all of those.
So there's this God too. You remember, all the planets were a god. They were, the planet is them, right?
And I want to ask you something, okay? Why in the world scientists don't want to recognize / acknowledge that, okay, they existed, or I don't want to say existed, they still exist. I mean, the gods and all kind of that stuff. On one hand, give me a second, on one hand, but they are naming their own projects after gods and ancient creatures and so on. Give me a second. It's silly, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at, they call him the Sky Father.
Yep.
God of the sky and thunder, king of the gods. Yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about, whether you believe it or not. I mean, I know that they exist.
Yeah.
I've communicated with them, and one of the roles of Andronicus was Jupiter. That was one of the Andronicus transmissions that I've did for years, and he was connected. He was the persona that was connected to Jupiter.
I want to ask you something. What they are thinking about us? Because it will be crazy. They are like, they are that naive.
They see that we're learning how they learned. They're very, very ancient. They've been on, throughout the universe and universes, multiverses. Okay. So they understand everything, and they're watching us learn. So when people say, oh, God's tired of everybody or whatever, and I'm not saying this is everybody's God, but he is definitely considered a God because of what he can do. He's Andromedan.
Okay.
But they because he was one of those beings that would terraform. He'd see a planet, and then he would put plants on there, put animals on there. He terraformed.
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
So they have wisdom, they have knowledge, right? So he's explaining to us, and our feelings and the struggles that we have as humans are like theirs, because we're connected to them. We're our genetics are connected to them.
I understand, but do you know what is crazy? Like ancient Greeks and ancient Romans were so, and I mean so closely connected to them, because, and one thing, they were closely tied and connected to the nature.
Yes, very, very connected to nature. Some of them were connected to water, some of them were connected to land and animals, and and extremely connected because they were the ones that brought those beings in.
Yep. You are right.
But yeah,
And look,
I mean,
just by the way, you started to talk about Queenie, and look where the heck we ended. Oh my.
yeah,
Oh
I
my.
know we're all over the place, but I'm gonna go back. We're gonna go back to Queenie because
No,
Queenie.
I think we are not all over the place because it is huge circle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but like, well, that's because we saw all these other little links, and then we also saw that what her mother, Kathleen Kitty, and now
And
we're
now
looking
we
at
are moving to the next level. Oh my.
talk about Kitty. This Taylor Swift gets it. Cats are better than some men.
I mean,
Look at that.
it speaks. Do you know what? It speaks for everything.
Yeah, and I think I had a picture here. Look at that.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh.
I mean, it's all connected in the weirdest situation, you know. And I think there was something here. I think the cat's name is Button or something like that.
Button, yeah, Button, yeah.
I think that someone read that. I'm trying to see where it says that feature. Yeah, Benjamin Button the cat.
Yeah, Anna. Yeah, you
A
are right.
curious case about what does that mean? That means Benjamin Button is someone that just keeps rejuvenating and never dies. So what is she saying about that cat?
Give me a second. You are very right. Yeah.
Right?
And do you know what this movie is about?
Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, he's a baby and then becomes old. And while, you know, really fast, he ages very rapidly and becomes old, and then he rejuvenates again or something like that. But he starts aging backwards with consequences.
And I will tell you why. And I will tell you why. Because he, as a, I don't know, he was like 1 year old or maybe 1.5 year old. And believe me or not, he ended up in conjuring house. Exactly like from the video game. And in conjuring house, the basic parts, basic rules of the physics and everything, nah. It doesn't work as it should be. Do you know what I mean? But I'm talking about, let's say, in video game, because this is real, okay? But if you go to video game conjuring house, okay, you can just open it on YouTube and we can see at least some basic parts of the game.
Yep, hold on.
Okay, fine. And everything is very weird there, believe me. And he ended up somehow in conjuring house. My oh my.
Are you talking about Brad Pitt because Brad Pitt was in the movie?
Yep.
Or are you just saying him? Are you talking about the cat?
No, I'm talking about Brad Pitt because he was replaced too, just by the way.
Ah, yeah, that, you know what, that makes sense.
Look at the whole, how can I say it, atmosphere. Isn't it that kind of weird?
When was he replaced, Peter?
Oh, a long time ago, like 25 years ago, or maybe 30, I don't know.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Look at that. It is some sort of weird, let's say odd atmosphere. I mean, those pictures and everything, man.
Yeah, it's
the mannequins. Then look, oh my, look, mannequins.
Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, mannequins.
Yeah, those are also the ones that bring in diseases, right? That's
Yeah, you
the
are goddamn right.
something doctors or what do
Yeah,
you call
yeah. And they are definitely not the doctors, just by the way.
it? No. Wow. I didn't know that about Brad Pitt. So not
And
25
look,
years
those
ago.
people, they are just banging they are just smashing the head to the walls. Yeah, look. Yeah. Oh my.
Wow.
This is
What did
so
they do with
crazy.
Brad Pitt? Well, how did they use him? Because he's an interesting individual in Hollywood. He's actually always been in the front of interest. He has been used for a lot of different types of movies. Um, what was his role in Montauk? What did he do? That was he like a like a valuable individual?
Yep. He was pretty much marked as HVT. What I was like, why in the world someone just like that? You
What does that
know?
mean?
HVT, sorry, high valuable target, just by the way, you know.
And they used him for a lot of different agendas.
Yeah. And I mean, like, so many different agendas. And I will tell you why. Because uh, he's very well known in the movies and TV shows and so on. You know?
Was he in the Jupiter prison?
But as an agent, just by the way.
He was there as an agent. Okay. And so is he like an elite soldier, very
Yeah,
athletic?
but that's the stuff. Elite soldier, like I'm like, okay, this and that and that. But the situation, or let's say the whole situation is that nobody knows that and nobody believes that, just by the way.
He was in a movie, I never saw this, 12 Years a Slave. Okay. And then he was also in The 12 Monkeys. That movie, The 12 Monkeys, which he was, you know what I'm talking
You
about,
didn't
right?
knew
Time
that? You
travel.
didn't knew that?
I knew he was in that movie and he really played a very believable role of being like a crazy person, but also knowing about time travel. He was also used in the interview with the vampire with Brad Pitt, with Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
and he's also an elite agent. Here's 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. Because he was doing crazy missions, just by the way. And I
Did
mean,
he do this? Was
so
he a part of the 12 Monkeys? But Brad Pitt, what did he
pretty
actually do?
much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
And Bruce Willis, who starred in that, they used him. He was a prisoner. Was that from Butcher Bay?
Yeah, yeah,
That's where they came from.
yeah.
And then there's Madeline Stowe. Is Madeline Stowe connected to Madeline Shaw?
I don't know, to be honest. In this case, I don't know.
All right. So Bruce Willis can't talk anymore. Is there a reason why he's not talking?
Yeah, because they made him like that. I'm just saying.
What, the prison did that to him?
Yep. And the whole project. I'm just saying. You know?
They talk about this Cassandra complex, which is an explanation of Cassandra would explain something and people didn't believe her. So they put him in that
Yeah.
situation, right?
Exactly.
All right, so going back to Brad Pitt, he was he plays like a devil, meet Joe Black.
Yep. You are right.
Is that based off of someone that we should know about, or
No, at least according my knowledge.
so it's almost like just someone that has powers or abilities?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you are right.
And we could probably go through a ton of his movies because he's got a lot of different things he was involved in. But also the woman that he was involved in, were they his handlers, or Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie? These people were definitely set up. He was in
No,
Mr. and
oh,
Mrs.
it was definitely a setup. Just by the way. Yep.
The
You are right.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is like in the Matrix, the Smiths, were they part of like a
You are goddamn right. It is. I mean, once somebody is not seeing the connections, it is not seeing the connections, but they don't want to see connections. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just saying, And just by the way, give me a second. Just by the way, that Angelina Jolie wasn't Angelina. Do you know what I mean? He changed the gender. It was Angel. It was Angel Jolie, just by the way.
Angel Jolie. Okay.
You don't know? You did look at the face.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I know, you could see that even like her body type is people have talked about that.
Yep.
Angel Jolie. So where is she originally from?
You mean from which planet? From Jupiter. That's the stuff. Like a product of experiments.
And so she was there, to handle Brad Pitt?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You are right.
His children look like they're clones. I mean, they look too much like him.
Exactly. It is like, they are abnormal. I mean, the similarity is abnormal. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so her name was Angel. Like, that's kind of like a Hispanic name.
Yep. Angelo. Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. Or Angel. I think they say it like that. So what is her background then? Who is she? Was Angel there as a prisoner or an agent?
No. Definitely as a agent, and that's the stuff. Agent, aka Brad Pitt, was very good agent, but then he started to remember certain things, and it was bad news bears. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So they need to handle them by somehow, and it was Angel, aka Angelo. I'm just saying.
She was in a movie called Changeling, which obviously is someone swapped off.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then she was in this. She was called Salt. I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah, because of his, let's say, salty humor, or hers salty humor. I know her for a long time personally, and it's the sense of humor, not good. Like Canadian jokes, you don't want to. Yeah, literally, like yeah.
We can't talk about the Canadians. They like us. They might not like us.
No, but give me a second. Their typical sense of humor. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well,
to be honest, give me a second. To be honest, I like the Canadian style of humor. Do you know what I mean? But for so many people, it will be like, nah, you are disrespectful towards me. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so and she had.
My question is why you didn't knew about this?
I knew it, but it's not anything that we've never talked about it before. But I knew that there was definitely some kind of weird gender thing going on there.
Yeah, but it's pretty much like Taylor Swift, we know.
Yeah.
She's Catwoman. Nah, Taylor Swift. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And just by the way, talking about Taylor Swift, I will tell you something. We are happy that Janet Shaw started to lose her voice, just by the way, because we are having her artifact. It is Strum on 2 reels. Do you know what I mean? On 2 reels.
I think she's supposed to be going on an Eras tour.
I don't know if it will be that easy for her.
Unless they can play the music in the background.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yep, because they're doing this. I guess this is started streaming 2 hours ago of her in Paris.
Yeah.
So
but
it starts in.
She doesn't look like she. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Look at the facial structure, you know, and the body structure, everything. It's I don't know how can I call it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
But even though I am a man, okay, but I absolutely don't understand the one thing. Okay, give me a second. One thing. You are a woman, so you maybe have quotes in quotes key answer to this crazy question. Why so many men are intrigued by women? They have very strong, how can I say it, like facial structure as a man and everything, and once yes, they are having breasts, but once they are not having female part, you know, like intimate part, they look very male-ish. And my question is, how in the world men starts to like such kind of women? Like they look almost like, you know, boy-ish, man-ish. It doesn't make any sense. Does it make sense?
From my recollection in our culture, when Twiggy became popular,
okay,
Twiggy could have been boy or girl. I mean, you really couldn't tell.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they did that on purpose.
Why?
I don't know. I think that was like they started to do this crossover type of thing because the woman looked different, like the woman that they would present to young girls, and then you know what Twiggy looked like could have been in between somewhere, you know.
Ah, and it was in 60s, if
It was
I
in
am
the
not
60s,
mistaken.
and so the young girls are like, wait a minute, you know, my body doesn't really look like that. I mean, maybe when you're like preteen, but because when you're preteen, you looked androgynous essentially, you know.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
But you know, there's you know there's a certain body type that identifies like the hips and everything like that because women were, you know, meant to have children, so they have a certain type of bone structure.
Yes, you are
And
right. And it should be like very different bone structure, just by the way. Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's like noticeable. And, you know, and then they were able to, there's certain people that are able to break this down. But from my experience, it's when Twiggy arrived that everyone started to reassess what a female body's supposed to look like. And this was not achievable for a lot of women.
Oh my
You know?
God. This doesn't look normal. And I mean, definitely not, okay?
Yeah, there's something a little bit wrong there. You know,
No.
right. So
Oh.
if you get, you know, a young boy could easily fill in some of these places, and that's where we've gone essentially.
Ooh, I don't like what I'm seeing.
So and now we have all this confusion, and you can't fully blame these people that got into this dysphoria because they're, it's been encouraged for a long time. And some people are just super thin, which is, that's another issue because that's also very hard for people, like they get into health issues,
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying it's so weird. I'm just saying,
Yeah. So yeah, and you have, like you said,
oh my God.
Well, we were
So
also
many
talking
cats.
about the witches. We were also talking about the witches in here in Harry Potter. Look at the cats.
No, I don't like what I'm seeing.
The cats are moving in the plates. See
Oh.
that?
Oh.
Okay, so which brings us to the whole Lyran issue. What is going on with the Lyrans? Is this Lyrans or is this another cat group?
No. Lyrans. They are watching us.
Okay, why? Because I think there's some good ones and some bad ones.
No, Lyrans are not bad. No. Why? They are not bad. They just they are having their own interests, if we want to call it that way.
And they're by Cygnus, which is what? Swan.
Yep, that's true.
So are they connected to Swan?
Pretty much.
All right, so that's, that's what I'm saying is there have to be, like the 12D and the 15D, there have to be a darker group that are with the Lyrans, because I keep on finding some of this. And why are they working with Janet Shaw?
Because they are having their own interests, and this is it. They used, aka misused, someone with on something, and then, do you know what I mean? Bye. End of story. Do you know what I mean? It is so crazy.
Mirror.
Yeah.
They talk about a mirror. They also talk about Dionysus. Dionysus is very bad.
Yeah,
and,
you are right.
Getting back to Twiggy, he's Twiggy for sure. You know, he is a male but female. He's definitely, he is can go either way. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
And then he's a part of this power and celebration. But also, I believe he was involved with what was going on in Jupiter as well, like a negative side. So he's around this, which is there's Lyra, and maybe there's outside interferences.
Yeah, you are right. So
or
I think because let's say we are running out of time. I'm just saying,
I wasn't keeping track of time. I know we've been all over the place, but this is a lot of connections, Peter. Whole lot of connections. Yep. Well,
we are fine, at least from my point of view. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, we covered a lot to just take in and digest and figure out. So with that said, I want to say thank you for joining us today, Peter. It was a very, very, very interesting show. And thank you for helping me figure out what's going on a little bit with Mirren and some of these others that have been in our.
I want to say thank you, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. I want to say thank you to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners for their patience, that they still be here with us till the end of the show. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'm really looking forward for next time. Hold tight, and bye-bye.
And thank you, everyone, for paying attention, for listening, for participating, for writing comments. and for supporting us. We truly appreciate you. Thank you. I hope everyone is well. And as we go through this journey of figuring things out, I think we're making some progress. So thanks for your help in the process. Have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.